Hi guys, today we'll be going over all the essential supplies that you need to make soap. Some things came from the Dollar Tree, which are very inexpensive to get, and others came from Amazon, which also is very inexpensive to get. So let's get into this. To begin, the first thing that's necessary when making soap is a scale. I'm going to try my best to not get in the way of all the essentials so you can see them all. But what I'll do is I'll point to them using a ruler. That seems more easy. And then those that can't fit into the frame, I'll bring it close to the camera so you can see. So let's get started. Alright. I got this scale from Amazon about 6 months ago. It wasn't expensive. I'll link it in the I'll link it down below. And I also got the next essential thing, which is this thermometer, which you can't see, so I'll bring it up. It's a very simple tool, and I got that also off of Amazon. And I got this, it's out of frame, but the base is in frame, so you can see it, the stick blender. I actually got that for like 10 bucks from Letgo, the app that you buy secondhand supplies from. I got that and also a mixing contraption. I'm not good with baking tools, so I'll mess up a few names, but I will link the details down below. I got that for 10 bucks from Letgo. I'll show you the top if you can see it. And I've been using this for about 6 to 8 months. It's not giving me any problems, so let it go. I would vie for it. Maybe some people would have different experiences, but for me, everything I've purchased off of there have worked out perfectly. Now, the next thing you'll need is a soap cutter. Now, most soap cutters come with the molds off of Amazon. I purchased, if you can see it, I don't have the wood base because I'm using it right now. But I purchased this. It's a 42 ounce mold, a regular silicone mold, and it came with this cutter. It came with the cutter, the mold, and the wood base to hold the mold in. So I'll put that down below as well. And the next thing you'll need, which I actually had at home, like I told you guys, I don't bake, but my husband purchased this for me thinking I would be baking. It didn't happen. So I used this for a more cleaner, sleeker cut for my soaps. Like the softer soaps, I'll use this on it. Don't ask me what it's called. I don't know. Now, the next thing that you'll need are measuring cups. Now, this is where the Dollar Tree becomes your best friend. I got these 4. If you can see them, I got these 4. They were $1 each, and when we start making more creative soaps, you'll see how useful they are, because you can use them to mix your different batches for colors. You can do so much with them, and they're $1. And what I will warn you about is, you see right here, you see where the little measuring is? Every time you use this and you wash it, the ink comes off, which is not a problem because you will be using it with your scale. Sorry, I'm making a mess. You will be using it with your scale. So it's not that big of a deal when you think about it. And then I'll bring it up closer. I got these pair of gloves, which you will need. They're very important when you're mixing the lye. And I got these 2 larger mixing bowls, which have the pouring mouth part, where you can simply just pour the soap base into your mold and not make a big mess. Now, my mixing bowls, my gloves, and my larger bowls all came from the Dollar Tree. And moving along, the next most important thing you'll need will be goggles. Don't know if you guys can see that. Goggles, which also came from the Dollar Tree. You need to protect your eyes when you're mixing lye. And also I got these. They're probably you can use them for maybe once or twice if you don't tear them. The problem I've been having is, you see how this is stapled here? It rips, and when I try to staple it back, it doesn't work. So if you go to the Dollar Tree and you see a more heavy duty mask, get that instead of these, because they're, I think it was about 8 that came in the pack, 6 or 8, and you run through them pretty fast if you're making a lot of soap. And then I got 1 spoon, only because I'm not too big with spoons. I like spatulas because they're flat and easier to use. So I just got 1 spoon and it was $1. And then of course I got this. Like I said, I'm really not good with baking utensils, so I got this. Don't ask me what it's called right now, it's not coming to mind. But I got this also for when you whisk, whatever. I got this for when you're whisking your batter, like when you're mixing your fragrances, your colors. This is very useful. If you want, you can get 2, but I got 1 just because I hardly use it. Like I said, I use more of the spatulas, which you will see that I got 2 of. And these are like my best friends when it comes to making soap. These are so useful. And I actually had this little cup here, which I use for measuring my fragrances. I had this little cup from when I had my children and I was feeding them formula, and it came in one of the large formula containers. And my husband, he's very resourceful, so he kept so many of them around, so they became so useful. So I have about, I think 10 to 20 of them lying around that I use when I'm doing different fragrances that I use. If you don't have these little plastic cups lying around, you can get a smaller, actually no, we're gonna move right along. You can get this, which is a multi-pack. It's missing so many measuring spoons, but it's a multi-pack measuring spoon collection that comes with, I think, up to a cup, and then it keeps going down until you get to, I think, 1/4 of a teaspoon. So you can get this, and you can also use the larger one, the cup, to measure your to measure and hold your fragrances. The next thing you'll need outside of the heavy duty gloves are the smaller latex gloves. I have 2 that I just finished using. I ran out, so I'll just put it in the frame so you can see it. These they come from the Dollar Tree. You get about, depending on the pack, you'll get anywhere from 6 to 8 in that pack. And from the experience I have with them is that I can use them maybe up to 3 times. I use them when I'm mixing my batter, when I'm coloring, when I'm fragrancing, and then I use them also to wash my dishes when I'm done. And after washing maybe 2 to 3 times, I let them dry. The 3rd time, there's usually a rip. So if you have the budget, I would get probably like a large box from Amazon. But if you don't have the budget, just be resourceful and be conscious as you're using them, because they do come 8 pairs in a pack. So that's very helpful there. And then the next thing you'll need are, and this is all dependent on how you plan to mold your soap. If you're using the silicone molds, you really don't need this, but if you're using wood molds, then you will need it. I use the wax paper. Sometimes people call it freezer paper, but it's the same thing. This is 65 square feet from the Dollar Tree. And then I have this other one, which is lighter. I bought this just because I was running out. It's 25 square feet from the Dollar Tree, and they both last. I'll open the box up if you can see. Oh, you can't really see how much is in there. I've used this making, I think I've made 4 loaves of soap, and I still have quite a bit left. So it's up to you if you want to purchase a bigger, the 65, or if you want to purchase the 25 square feet. And to be honest, the final thing that you will need, which I will tell you is vital. When I first started making soap, I wasn't doing this. I was actually mixing my lye in one of these little plastic measuring cups, which it's okay. It's just that the lye gets so hot that I don't know how it reacts to the plastic. So I transferred to this jar and I marked it. So I have two little ones in the house, so I marked it so that everyone knows, regardless if I washed it and I forgot it on the counter or whatever, they know do not use this because it's marked with lye. And I would suggest you do the same. What I used here was just a regular clear label and permanent marker, and I can wash this as much as I want and the permanent marker won't come off. And this jar itself came from the Dollar Tree. I originally purchased this to make candles, but the jar is so big that I could not make a reasonably sized candle in it, so I used this for my lye mixing. And that is pretty much it. If I could estimate how much everything cost, we will start with, and I'm going to get my little calculator out. We'll start with the Dollar Tree stuff. We're looking at $1 for this pack, $1 for each of these, so that's $3, $1 here, $4, $1 here, $5, $1, $6, $1, $7, $1 for the gloves, $8, $1 for each of these bowls, $9, $10, $1 for the jar, $11, $1 for each of these parch packs, which is $12, $13, $1 for these four, so we're at $14, $15, $16, $17. That's $17 from the Dollar Tree, right? And then remember I told you guys I purchased this secondhand for 10 bucks, but if you go on Amazon, you'll find them anywhere from, I believe, $9.88 and up. So let's just add the $10, right? The scale was, I believe, $10 or $12. So I'm just gonna price it at $12 just to be safe. And then the mold was $14, and it was what do you call it, prime shipping, so I didn't pay anything for that, so add the 14. And remember I told you it came with the cutter, so that's included. And this cutter I'm not even going to include because you might have knives lying around which you can use as well, so that cutter gets added with the mold, and this one was just like something lying around the house. And then we have the thermometer, which I believe was 10 bucks, but I will estimate it at 12 just because it could have been 12. But I will link everything down below so you guys can have it. And then, you know, my little measuring cups. So just in case you guys don't have measuring cups, I'll add about $2 for 2 measuring small cups. We're at $67, right? And oh yeah, the last things that I didn't include were these little skewer sticks. This one, if you can see the tip, it's kind of broken. This is something I had lying around that I use to mix my candles when I'm making candles with mica. So I kind of just broke it in half, and I'm using the second half for soaping. The skewers are $1 for I think a pack of 25 or 50 at Dollar Tree, so I'll add that $1 in. And then you'll see I have a plastic spoon. That's when we get into more advanced soap making. You'll use a plastic spoon to do your little designs at the top. A pack of spoons and forks, or a pack of spoons by itself, is $1, and it's about 48 in that pack. So let's add that. That's $1. And then I have these little droppers. These I got from the Amazon, and there were, I believe, about 100 or 1,000 in them. I have the pack somewhere. I can't find it right now, but it's a large plastic bag. I believe it's 100 or 1,000 that are in there, and I believe it was like $6 or $7. So I will overestimate to $10 just because I don't remember the exact amount. And then I have, this is for more advanced, I have these little, these little wooden sticks, which you can also use to make designs at the top of your soaps. I got 1,000 for $7, and I'll link it down below. So that's plus $7. And then I also got these larger spoons, and these, I said spoons, little spatulas, wooden spatulas, and these are more, I use them for candle making, and when I make my scoopable candles, scoopable wax, people use them to scoop the wax and put it in the burner. So I have a pack that I send out with that, and I also use another pack for soap making and candle making, and they were 100, I believe, for $8 or $10, so I'll estimate $10. And I'll go back and adjust after I go online and check everything out so that we can get the exact amount, because we are soaping on a budget here, okay? And then finally, this is a little creative thing that my daughter showed me after she broke a little paintbrush that I had. So I had a pack of these small paint brushes that I use to paint the wax melts that I make. And when the brush came off, I just thought, why throw it away? Why not keep it? Even though it's bigger than the skewer, I'll put them side by side so you can see. The diameter is bigger. It still would make some pretty interesting swirls and designs on your soap or at the top of your soap, so it's useful. I won't include it just because we all have little brushes lying around. If they break, you just grab one of them and keep the wooden part. So that's pretty much it, right? And we're at $96, and that's with me overestimating certain prices on certain items because I just don't remember. Like the thermometer I bought like 8 months ago, the what do you call it, the wooden spatula and the wooden sticks I bought a while ago, so I kind of don't remember, but I'll go back and I'll leave it in the description how much everything was, and I'll break everything down for you guys. So this is it. If you're thinking about making soap either for yourself or your family, has an idea for holidays to give away to friends and family, or if you, like me, you have children who are in school and you want to gift their principals or their teachers with soaps, this is it. $100 and you can start making soap. And this here is more like the investment side of the soap making, because you're going to reuse everything on this table outside of the plastic gloves, which are actually not on the table, but you get what I'm saying. You're going to reuse everything. Like later on, I'll show you guys how I clean my little droppers. I use them for fragrancing, and I clean them with hot water and soap, and as you can see, they come out looking new again. And even my wooden sticks and my wooden spatulas, I wash them with hot water and soap, and I can reuse them several times because, come on, it's wood, right? And then the plastic spoon is the same thing. If you want, you can opt out of the plastic spoon and get like a smaller wooden spoon, and it would work the same way, right? So that's it. And also, the last thing, don't forget, it's still $1, of course, if you want to get the plastic mask instead of getting the disposable mask. So that's something too. And that would actually help you out because you wouldn't have to get rid of masks. So that's pretty much it. If you want to make soap, it doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. You can start with $100 and you'll have all your supplies. Just remember the simple things that you'll have to replace, which I also forgot, which is the wax paper goes along with what you'll have to replace. But if we take out everything that you'll have to replace, right, we're probably just decreasing your investment cost by maybe $5 or $6. So, you know, you're still investing in something that you can use long term. You'll be using these items for a very long time. And because they're all reusable, you just wash them and go on and continue making beautiful, lovely soaps. So that's it. I will link everything down below, and we will continue this journey of soap making.